We are continuing our journey with the unexpectedly pragmatic Agzer Segizbayeva. I only perceive them as food. Why does it seem so to me? And we are rediscovering Kazakhstan with the persistently inquisitive host Adlat Maki.
Араб саяхатшылардың таңғалдырған су құбыры, керамикадан жасалған су құбыры, осы жақта
Let's find them. There should be sure.
Соны іздеп көрсек,
Atyrau and its region are not often considered the tourist destination by Republican channels. We decided to show that it is also worth visiting. Today our focus is on the city of Atyrau. Atyrau began its history with a wooden fort built by the merchant Guri Nazaryev. The old name of Atyrau was Guryev. The local history museum will tell us more about the city. Atyrau is the birthplace of famous Kui performers Dina Nupiisova and Kumangazi Sagibayuli. Dina and Kumangazi met for the first time when she was only 9 years old. Even then, Kumangazi noted that Dina would be a great musician and blessed her.
Жалпы осы Құрманғазы мен Динаның арасындағы
Kumangazi once said, "The skill hidden in my right hand and Dina's left hand is great. If one person will have the skill of my right hand and Dina's left hand, then there will be no more skillful Dombra player in the world." During the First World War, Emperor Nicholas II adopted a decree on the mobilization of male foreigners aged between 19 to 43 years. Mobilization for rare services caused uprisings in the steppe, which were brutally suppressed by punitive detachments of the Tsarist army. This page of history was reflected by Dina in her 1916 Kui. The Kui dedicated to the uprising events conveys a longing for happiness and joy. At first stages, Kui inspired people for the liberation movement in the Kazakh steppe. Dina lived a long life and became a beloved Dombra player. The museum exhibits many instruments, but one interested me most of all. The Dombra of Dina Nupiisova is kept in the Hall of Culture and Literature. With this Dombra, Dina performed at her last concert in Almaty in 1952, when she was 91 years old. Awesome artifact. Visiting Atyrau, one shall know that the Golden Man was also found here. This happened in 1999. 65 kilometers from the city of Kulsari, the expedition of Zeynullah Samashev discovered a radiant mound. The Golden Man found in the Aral Tebe mound is kept here. If you are a fan of the Sarmatians, you definitely need to visit the museum. In fact, Atyrau Museum exhibits a copy of the clothes of the Sarmatian leader. The original golden outfit is kept in the National Museum, which even contains a whole collection of reconstructions of golden people from all over Kazakhstan. We have the reconstruction of not only the Issyk golden man, but also the reconstruction of the Taksai princes, the reconstruction of the man found in Atyrau, the reconstruction from the Baygetobe burial mounds, the reconstruction from the Taldi burial ground. Thus, all reconstructions of the golden people found in different parts of Kazakhstan were collected in one place. In the future, it is planned to replenish this collection. The Atyrau mound is called radiant because of the peculiarities of its construction. Looking at the model exhibited in the museum, we can see that the burial consists of 12 compartments and resembles a wheel. As the Sarmatians were sun worshippers, we can compare it with the chariot of the Greek god Helios. However, we are not scientists to judge. It is curious that, in addition to the leader and his wife, the remains of 2 horses, golden eagle and dog, were found in the mound. Hey, Adlet, it was a dog, not a wolf. You messed things up again. To fill the gaps in knowledge of history, I went to the most ancient settlement near Atyrau. Sarayshik. We are in one of the ancient cities on the territory of Kazakhstan. It was a large city in the Golden Horde. It was the headquarters of the Khans of the Nogai Horde and the Kazakh Khanate. In honor of the 7 Khans buried here, the memorial steles were erected. The place I have just visited is called the Pantheon. In addition to it, the complex Khan Odali Sarayshik includes a museum and a small mosque. Let's go to the museum first. There you can look at the model of the ancient settlement. The caravan route from Europe and the capital of the Golden Horde to Iran, India and China passed through these destinations. And of course, in such a trade metropolis, people used own coins. During the reign of Mengu Khan, the Golden Horde was formed as a separate state. That is why Sarayshik issued its own coin under the first Khans of the Golden Horde. This coin was found here. It turned out that it was minted in the city of Ukek, one of the cities of the Golden Horde. In the 13th century, there already existed a ceramic water supply system that amazed Arab traveler with its ingenuity. Let's try to find it. While I was looking for sherds from the 13th century aqueduct, Jibek to Joly spoke about even more ancient finds discovered in the territory of Sarayshik. This is the oldest, lowest layer of Sarayshik, which in different periods was formed on the same cultural level. From these layers we get fragments of pottery from the Kipchak era and bone products. The oldest artifacts are probably dated back to the 11th, 12th century. In July 1950, the Khorazm Ethnographical and Archaeological Expedition, led by Tolstov, arrived here. According to Tolstov's research, the lowest cultural layer here was the Khorazm layer. Thus, there were settlements before the period of Batu Khan. Saray Sheikh was full of merchants, artisans and farmers. The land was fertile and moisture consuming, therefore grain crops grew well in these areas. Here they found bridges across the Ural River, as well as various agricultural products. A water wheel for irrigating grain crops was also found there. But nothing lasts forever under the moon, and in the 16th century, Saray Sheikh became empty. Scientists see three reasons. First, the sea trade route was opened and therefore the Silk Road lost its significance. The second reason is the frequent change of khans and the struggle for power. And the last reason is connected with the Cossack attacks. In the 21st century, we can finally lose the remains of the settlement. Unfortunately, time spares nothing. Due to the Ural River caving, the historical layer of the settlement is destroyed. So hurry up to visit Saray Sheikh. Since 2017, work is carried out to strengthen the banks of the Ural. Let's hope that the monument will be preserved for future generations. I am very glad that the museum reserve is not deprived of the attention of tourists. After the opening of the museum in 1999, the Pantheon was built. This caused the increase in the tourist flow. Tourists come mainly in the summer, when archaeological work is underway. They watch the work progress and enjoy all the facilities. Agzer, if you lose me, I'm in Saray Sheikh. How is your trip to the north? My journey is great. I'm going to meet the inhabitants of the oceans right now. Imagine that I'm on a cruise in distant countries. The sea, the sun, a steamer, complete zen. This oceanarium in Nur Sultan entered the Guinness Book of Records as the most remote, private and unique corner. Wonderful! To create comfortable conditions for 2,000 fish and other marine animals, 3 million liters of water were poured into a huge water tank with 2 additional compartments, and 120 tons of sea salt were dissolved in it. This tunnel makes visitors feel as if they are walking on the seabed. And it works. It feels super. Well, now it's time for our competition, which we talked about in our previous programs. Let me remind you, now I will take a photo in a certain place inside the oceanarium, and you shall repeat it and post it in the social networks. Don't forget, there are beautiful prizes waiting for you. Right now, the diver is feeding fish in the aquarium.
Осы океанариумдағы балықтардың барлығын тамақтандырып жатыр. Қорқынышты енді жұмыс. Міне.
There are turtles and sharks.
Акула жүр.
For me, such feeding is completely impossible.
Шынымен де.
Of course, you can feed other small fish, but being underwater, alone with sharks and other large fish is scaring and very difficult.
Балықтармен судың астында жалғыз өзі қиын қорқынышты, өте қорқынышты.
I couldn't if they even let me, because only brave, fearless people can do
Оған
this.
тек шынымен де батыл, шынымен де қайсар, қолдарынан келетін адамдар ғана жасамаса,
I think girls are not allowed at all.
болмайды. Бірақ әдемі
Amazing. From an emotional point of view, I absolutely love it.
Одан қатты бір қорқыныш та бар, бірақ бір әдемі керемет әсердемін. Тамаша. Дәл осы жерде айта кетейін, егерде сіздің өміріңізде жалпы бір адреналин жетпей жүрген болса, дәл осы Нұр-Сұлтан қаласындағы океанариумға келіп, осы мен көрген
If your
дүниені
life lacks adrenaline, then you just need to come to the Oceanarium in Nur-Sultan and see what I saw. I'm impressed by the huge shark. Therefore, I recommend this place. Travel blogger Aliya Akmalisheva shared with us her first impressions of visiting the Oceanarium.
В целом, достаточно приятно было посетить это место, потому что оно было уникальным, действительно необычным.
I was pleased to visit this place because it was truly unique, unusual sight for the inhabitants of our city. There were few places to visit. We had quite vivid impressions. There were children with us, and of course, there was a burst of emotions.
Достаточно яркие. С нами были еще дети, и на этих эмоциях, конечно, фейерверк был.
Indeed, more than 100 different species of marine animals live in the capital's Oceanarium. Clownfish, stingray, turtle, royal sturgeonfish. You can list all the inhabitants of the aquarium for a long time, but it is better to look at the detailed information on the website. Now we are saying thank you to the diver, the specialist who showed us his skills and is not afraid to do his job. Goodbye. I didn't want to leave the Oceanarium, but there is another favorite location in Nur-Sultan ahead, the Astana Bayterek Monument.
Дәл қазір біз елордамыз Нұр-Сұлтан қаласының
Now we are in one of the very first constructed buildings in Nur-Sultan, at Bayterek. Let's take the elevator and admire the beautiful buildings. Let's go.
Әсем ғимараттарын тамашалайық.
The Bayterek elevator is a special place. It is fascinating that darkness alternates with light. Therefore, when I have the opportunity, I like to go up and down. Oh, we've gone down. The elevator goes up and down slowly. The height of Bayterek is 97 meters. And this is for a reason. In 1997, our capital was moved from Almaty to Astana. Bayterek is considered a sacred tree in Kazakh mythology. There is even a legend that on the top of this tree the samuruk bird built its nest and laid eggs there. It seems to us that Bayterek is such a structure and stands on the ground, but in fact it goes 4 meters deep. And it is believed that the dragon Aydar, symbolizing dark forces, lives there in the depth. Every year, the samuruk bird that built its nest on the branches of this tree lays a golden egg symbolizing the sun. The dragon devours this egg. This is the circle of life. Life and death, good and evil, light and darkness.
Дракон поглощает это яйцо, и таким образом происходит смена жизни. Это круг жизни. Жизнь и смерть, добро и зло, свет и тьма.
And now is the most touching moment, putting the palm in the imprint. I loved this tradition since childhood.
егер Көктөбеден
If you can see the entire Almaty from Koktebe, the capital can be observed from Bayterek the same way. Inside Bayterek, everything is very beautiful. The weather is fine. I even wanted to say hello to Adilat. Adilat, how are you there? Do you miss me?
Мені сағындың ба?
I miss Auxerre. I feel sad that I decided to urgently find a quiet and peaceful place to calm down my soul. The Holy Domitian Cathedral is just such a place. The cathedral was built during 10 years at the expense of Guryev merchant Fedor Tudakov and his friends. In 1886, it was opened to the public. Later, the Soviet regime officially banned the religion. In 1946, by decree of Stalin, the cathedral was reopened, but the building was in a deplorable state. According to the available photographs, the windows and doors were bricked up. A huge amount of work had to be done. And of course, the climate is peculiar in this area. It also affected the cathedral. In 2000, it was completely overhauled. Otherwise, we could simply have lost it.
И уже в 2000 году было принято решение о том, что храм нужно капитально реставрировать, и в противном случае можно было его просто-напросто потерять.
You see, the cathedral has green and blue roof. It turned out that in 2018 the roof was painted to its original color, symbolizing purity, the color of the Virgin, and the green color of the roof was laid in the 2000s. The building of the cathedral has been tilted for a long time, and in 2000 the first serious restoration was carried out. By 2018, the temple was overhauled, and now the cathedral is as good as new. There are not many cathedrals of the 19th century in Kazakhstan. The Holy Domitian Cathedral is one of them. In 2018, the cathedral celebrated its 130th anniversary. What is a temple without miraculous icons? We asked the priest if they had something similar. We have clear evidence of a miracle. We have the Fyodorovskaya icon of the Mother of God. It has already been restored. Once a man came to me. Now he does not live in our city. He and his wife did not have children for a long time. They prayed in front of this icon. In Orthodoxy, it is believed that those people who do not have children shall pray in front of this holy icon. Later, they had a daughter. It's great that miracles do happen. Even our journey in the year of the pandemic is a miracle for me. Let it be continued. The program came to an end. In this program, I watched how marine animals were fed in the aquarium, admired the diver, and went up in the Bayterek elevator. I learned a lot about Dina Nupisova, the golden man from the Atyrau Tube mound, and even saw the miraculous icon in the Holy Domitian Cathedral in Atyrau. Wait for the next programs. We intend to make them funny and interesting. Bye-bye.